And speaking of being afraid of your own shadow, because Donald Trump may be upset by what you say.
And you're in the running for Veep states.
We actually had a guy who at the beginning of the campaign, we were talking about positively being able to go out on the campaign stump and being able to energize Republicans with a fairly traditional, positive, conservative message. And that was, of course, Tim Scott. That guy's completely disappeared. And now, when asked whether he would support the democratic process and whether, Mika, he would support election results when Americans go out and vote, would he accept those results? He couldn't answer.
Can't do it. This is an interview on Meet the Press where Republican Senator Tim Scott, who is widely considered to be on Trump's short list for vice president, refused to answer whether he would accept the 2024 election results as legitimate, no matter the outcome. Here's that exchange.
Well, Senator, will you commit to accepting the election results of 2024? Bottom line.
Well, at the end of the day, the 47th president of the United States will be President Donald Trump, and I'm excited to get back to low inflation, low unemployment.
Wait, Senator, yes or no? Yes or no? Will you accept the election results of 2024, no matter who wins?
That is my statement.
But is it just yes or no? Will you accept the election results of 2024?
I look forward to President Trump being the 47th president. Kristen, you could ask him multiple times.
Senator, just a yes or no answer.
So the American people will make the decision.
But I don't hear you committing
for President Trump. That's clear.
I don't hear you committing to the election results.
Here's the challenge.
Will you commit to accepting the election results?
This is why so many Americans believe that NBC is an extension of the Democrat Party. At the end of the day, I've said what I've said, and I know that the American people, their voices will be heard, and I believe that President Trump will be our next president. It's that simple.
But, Senator, as you know, the hallmark of our democracy is that both candidates agree to a peaceful transfer of power. So I'm asking you, as a potential VP nominee, will you accept to commit to the election results in this election cycle, no matter who wins? Just simply yes or no.
I expect President Trump to win the next election. Listen, I'm not going to answer your hypothetical question when, in fact, I believe the American people are speaking today on the results of the election. And if it continues for the next 6 months, we find ourselves in a great position where we get back to another century of American prosperity. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm stunned. I can't believe in 2024, after 9 years of Donald Trump being on the political stage, that we've gotten to this point, Donnie Deutsch, where you have a United States senator who understands if he has any chance of being on the short list for being Donald Trump's vice president, he has to say he won't accept the results unless Donald Trump wins. And let me just say, how astounding, how astounding that he would say that NBC is a wing of the Democratic Party because Kristen Welker asks him, will you do what we were all taught in grade school and in middle school and in high school? Will you do what has long made America stand separate from our enemies? And will you accept the will of the people? Will you accept the magic of American democracy that was written about in the making of the president in 1960, that the Americans getting out of their homes, leaving their apartments, driving off their farms to go vote all across America and collectively decide who the next president of the United States is going to be? Will you accept that? And his answer was only if Donald Trump wins. He couldn't just say, yes, of course I'll answer that. And again, pre-Donald Trump, I will say even pre-2020, everybody would have said, why of course. I can't wait to talk to Ann Applebaum about this, Donnie, because you talk about the twilight of democracy. But, Donnie, your reaction to that?
Another tough Republican, once again, Joe, could not answer the question, will you accept the results of an election? And what's most befuddling about that is not the spinelessness of these characters who are following Trump to not even admit the basic fundamental of democracy and say it's okay, but that the people listening, it's not registering. I've said this many times. I have conversations with friends and say, do you understand there won't be a real free election if Donald Trump is elected? And they go, no, that's not possible. No, what are you talking? You're overreacting. Yet you hear it not only coming out of Donald Trump's mouth, but coming out of his followers' mouths. They're telling us, as authoritarians do, or as followers of authoritarians do, they tell us what's coming. Now, the big question, maybe Ann can answer this, is why are so many people not listening or not at least believing it?
So this is the Republican Party, Joe and Mika. This is who they are. And it's an open audition to be his vice president. And there seems to be, as we often say, no bottom here. We have a governor of South Dakota thinking that bragging about killing a puppy will make her look tough. We have a pretty well-respected senator from South Carolina suggesting, that he would not go so far as to defend American democracy and free and fair elections, which is the bedrock of who we are. Won't do it because he doesn't want to dare upset Donald Trump. It's all about flattery. It's all about dear leader. That is where the GOP stands right now, as Trump has remade it in his image. And I'm told that he's still in the very early stages of the VP process. He is in no rush to make this decision. The convention's not till the middle of July. They think that even if it's sort of mid to late June, that's fine. Even early July, perhaps. He likes this. He likes, I am told, these prominent Republicans kissing up to him and trying to win his favor. And we should not forget this. A senior aide told me over the weekend, as much as he likes the flattery, it's also simply not Trump's focus right now. He is consumed by the criminal trial in Manhattan, resuming in a few hours. So he's just going to enjoy the adulation without making a decision anytime